Chamber Ambassador Award. The recipient of this award is an individual who serves on the Charlevoix Area Chamber of Commerce Ambassador Committee, giving their time, talent, and energy in order to promote the value of the Chamber and its programs. Larry Levengood.
What does it mean to you to be receiving this award?
Well, it means I missed the meeting where they made the selection. That's the first thing it means. But other than that, it means that my volunteer efforts have been appreciated, and that means a lot to me because I do a lot of different types of volunteering, and that has been a great group to work with. So I guess I appreciate that they have acknowledged my efforts, and I would have to say that any one of them certainly could have been the selection because it's a team effort, and everything that we've done has been as a team.
I've worked with Larry on several committees over the years, and with his desire to help protect the resource, he's worked on different committees with us. But our mission with the Lake Charlevoix Association is protecting and promoting Lake Charlevoix. So we have many environmental projects that we work on, and we spend a lot of our energy educating people as to the best way that they can protect the lake. And Larry's been a great resource for us because of his background with the health department and his career. I mean, when it comes right down to it, he cares. I think he showed that in his career. He worked very diligently to try and protect the resource, and he takes a lot of pride in Charlevoix, a lot of pride in Lake Charlevoix, and I think he just wants to make it all better.
Larry and I go way back. You know, we were on the school board together, and a variety of other things. You know, I think Larry was here when I got to town, and
I think I had your kids on my soccer team when I was coaching soccer, and I think that's how I first got to know you. Yeah.
You know, to be honest, I think Larry Levengood's a little bit of a legend. I mean, the guy, I was beginning to think just in the ambassadors program that they'd clone the guy, because every time I turned around, I was seeing Larry Levengood. I don't care if it was at the art fair downtown or, you know, any one of the functions that we have throughout the year. You'd turn around and there'd be Larry. And I know it just wasn't the free sandwiches. I know it was because the guy's got a big heart and he's given a lot, not only the community over the years and coaching, you know, my kids at one point, but also in his capacity as a member of the Ambassadors Club.
Well, I think we all have to work together to make the community better, and I think that's and to make the community successful, and I think that's a lot of what it's all about. Charlevoix is a unique community, I believe, and a lot of it is because of the natural resources and the water that we have here between Lake Michigan, Lake Charlevoix, and Round Lake. It makes for a unique community, but being a unique community leads to certain challenges, and one of those certainly as far as commerce is concerned and the economy is the seasonal nature of things. That's part of where I'm coming from, is where I, like I said, enjoy working with other people here and trying to do what we can to sustain a year-round economy.
Larry is at every meeting's attendance. He will volunteer for anything we throw at him. Larry's always first to say yes. He's not just on time, he's generally early, stays late. He doesn't just show up, he shows up with a smile. He makes any event that you're at with him actually more fun, more enjoyable to be around. If there's a sign-up sheet going around for the blood drive or tree sales or the cooking chicken in the park at Venetian, which is such a tough one to get volunteers for because family's in town. It doesn't matter what's happening, he's there. Larry always says yes, always with a smile. He's got a great sense of humor and he's willing to be sarcastic. He's not just a great community member, he's a really wonderful human being, and I really like being around Larry.
Customer Service Award. Service excellence is top priority. The recipient of this award, an employee of a member business, exemplifies high standard, giving priority attention to every customer, guest, or client. Terry Osterhout.
I'm very grateful to receive it. I think Charlevoix is a great community and there's a lot of great people in it. And one of the things that I've noticed is that Charlevoix is kind of ahead of the other towns in northern Michigan when it comes to customer service. To receive that among people I know who are also excellent at customer service, it's very rewarding.
Everything he does is focused on the customer's experience. To him, you're the most important person walking in the door. Everybody I run into on the street tells me, oh my gosh, the guy that works there, what's their, Terry, the guy that works there, you know, I remember, and then he's so awesome, he makes us feel so special when we come in. And so that's why everybody loves coming here. is the experience that he's created for them.
I have always had a policy of treating customers like friends. I may not remember all of their names, but I remember faces. Here we like to go the extra mile and make sure that the elderly make it to their seats okay in the darkness, to make sure that if somebody needs a tray, we put it there for them. It's super important that people feel like they're home, that they're in an environment where they're safe, they're happy, they're comfortable, and they get to appreciate movies as much as we do. That's what it's all about. It is more about an experience than just watching movies. With the internet, we have such an instant gratification society now. It's really important that people still see the value of seeing a movie in the theaters. There's a lot of free events. That is Marion Luther completely. They do a lot of events to embrace the community and to invite them into the theater. It's really wonderful to be a part of that. I love to see people come and see their playoffs and to celebrate together. It really is like having family over to watch the game. Working for Marion Luther, I managed their skydiving phone center before I came over here in Harbor Spring, and it was one of the toughest jobs I've ever had, but I also learned so much about business and customer service, even more than I had. And so when they bought the theater and offered me to come over and manage it, I was delighted because they allow their employees to grow and to be innovative and to offer, to be a part of the company. They're the best bosses I've ever had. They're like family to me.
Terry sold us on the idea that movies are more than just a movie. It's an experience that he wanted to give people when we talked about having him work here. And Terry sold us on how that could be, and I think the experience that he has created for people is a great one, because it seems to me that people are driving from all over northern Michigan to come here to have that experience.
I met my wife in California when we lived there. We moved back 3 years ago. And Liz is an advice blogger, and she has her own YouTube show. And my son's 4. Marion Luther are gracious enough to let him pop in every now and then and hand out 3D glasses. And so the customers are now starting to get to know him, and he recognizes some of them. So it's really cool. I grew up loving movies. I mean, from my earliest memory, I loved movies, and it never went away. So I want to instill an appreciation for all movies with him as well. I'm just very grateful to have the job. I'm happy that people like the theater, and we have a lot of new customers from the other towns, and it feels good. It's rewarding to know that people appreciate the theater and love movies and come to Charlevoix. That's the thing that I love. The theater's bringing people from other towns to Charlevoix.
There's a lot of good things about Terry, but if you were going to have a company kickball game, you would not want to have Terry on your team. He told me I could say that.
Young Professional of the Year, driven and leading by example. This individual demonstrates leadership and professional development, civic, charitable, and social endeavors in Charlevoix. The recipient of this award is 40 years of age or under and a chamber member, Chelsea Townsend.
Oh, well, it was very unexpected, and I'm obviously very honored to be named Young Professional of the Year. I moved back here a few years ago and didn't expect to still be here. I thought I'd be here for a few months and would have moved on. So being able to become a part of the community so quickly and to be recognized for having an impact in a meaningful way is pretty special. Reminds me why I'm here.
Chelsea is an incredible team player, and I know that's a phrase that's overused lots, but she really is. She's the same person that can be on the phone with donors in the morning. She can have the same rapport with someone who doesn't have 2 cents to rub together. In fact, to give you an example, yesterday she got a phone call that there was somebody in the emergency room that was brought in freezing cold and shorts and a t-shirt. So she put her coat on and went shopping, and that's Chelsea. She's very gifted, extremely articulate, very smart, a very kind person. She has a rapport with any age group. It's kind of amazing to see her with some of the older folks, people that are literally 3 times her age, that she just has a wonderful rapport with. She's also very lighthearted. She's got a great sense of humor. She's very funny. She's willing to do just about anything to get a goal done. She's a team player. She'll empty the recycling. She'll empty the mouse traps. she'll do whatever it takes to get the job done and make people feel comfortable. And she's a great ambassador for the hospital. She's just great.
Growing up, I had 4 wonderful parents who all brought different strengths and perspectives to my life. I got to learn from all of them. And now here at work, Lynn Jenks, my boss, as well as the foundation and hospital boards, my other bosses, I'm surrounded by a lot of brilliance.
She has brought to the job a freshness and an attitude of can-do that in this day and age is very refreshing, especially in a young person. I love seeing it. I love seeing her growth over the last 3 years and her commitment not only to the hospital, but our community at large.
The Strive Mentor Program through the Rotary is something new for me this year. Pretty interesting to work with kids. They scare me just a little. The Main Street Committee has been really fun, so being a part of that has been pretty inspiring. January 23rd, I'm getting married. We're going to Mexico and taking 100 of our closest friends and family, and when I come back, I'll be Chelsea Platt. With the foundation, we're just really blessed to have tremendous community support, to just see the huge outpouring of support from Charlevoix and the greater community. This hospital is what it is because of the people here, and it's been really amazing. A lot of people come to us with very personal stories, often that they let us share with donors, and to see people who needed something and you were able to provide it, they're so grateful. It just makes you feel really happy to be doing what you're doing.
New Business of the Year. Having opened its doors within the last 18 months, the recipient of this award is a chamber member and entrepreneur that has demonstrated strong business growth and performance, sound business strategies and practices, unique and innovative approaches, and community involvement. Lake Charlevoix Brewing Company.
It's a fantastic accomplishment and very proud of our team and very appreciative of the community support for this new venture. I think the commitment from our local team who grew up in Charlevoix to not only the community but also the visiting guests to create a new hospitality destination that's fresh, it's got a great appeal, it creates a social environment, and I think people have fun here. So, we were able to successfully build that model upstairs at the tap room, and we're able to continue it with a new and different venture, brewing our own beer down here that I think adds another level of enthusiasm, excitement, and difference.
We obviously were extremely passionate about this community. Growing up here, I was just excited to get back to meet these guys and work on these projects and new ventures. And just seeing the community involvement and engagement. We've had a great local support, not only in our day-to-day operations, but in some of our new ideas, trying things like trivia and euchre, and getting people involved and engaged and coming out has been a lot of fun to see.
The fact that they're brewing beer right here and all the people that work here now are just wonderful.
Yeah, we love the people. We come here because a lot of it's because they're like a second family, sort of. They're just the nicest people.
We are very committed to show young people there's something to stay in Charlevoix for. You can have a great career here. What do you want to do next? Not just wait on tables or serve behind a bar, but we're running a business too. There's finance, there's making beer, there's supply chain, there's sustainability and environmental aspects. So we're giving our young people experience to a lot of other things rather than just what the traditional hospitality industry, gins up.
I think it's wonderful that the employment opportunities for young people, both Lake Charlevoix Brewing and Bridge Street Tap Room, have made employment a possibility for so many young people, giving them a great opportunity to learn some great business skills and make a living.
It's been great in our hiring process and in our growth, creating new year-round opportunities and seeing the amount of talented young people in our area that want to stay here, that want to raise their families here. And also the people that grew up here, the more opportunities we can provide as a community we'll have more people move back here. And to bring some of them back and their families back has been really exciting.
With the number of people on our team that are from Charlevoix, we know how important it is to give back. We were able to participate in athletics and sporting activities, whether it's Mount McSaubin, great facilities out there, the local parks here that we all enjoy. But now we're in a good position to give back so that we can support those programs that we think support the next group of entrepreneurs in town.
The atmosphere, the environment, the nautical theme, it's a great addition to what Charlevoix is all about. Living in Grand Rapids as well, I've experienced the growth of the brewing industry. And I think it's nice to finally move that into this community and bring growth in that aspect to Charlevoix. There really isn't another spot in Charlevoix like the brewing company. Some of our better selling beers, obviously our mainstays have gotten some great traction. We continue to brew our blonde, our pale ale, our red ale, and our porter. But some of the fun ones are Hefty Hefeweizen. We've done a series of brown ales utilizing different ingredients from cocoa nibs to espresso. We used a lot of cookies in one of our stouts, 10 pounds, and I think we added some, kept adding. It was a fun brew. We're involved in so many community events, which we love the opportunity to help with any of them. It's been great to see the Bridge Drops growth. It's fun to see Shadowfest's growth and the Beer Festival, obviously, which we're extremely passionate about, and we're extremely excited for 2016. Adam's going to be heading that up.
We're looking forward to those things. We want to work with more waterfront activities, the antique boat show, things like that we can help foot the financial burden but generate more traffic to downtown, to the whole Main Street concept, and also support our other local business partners.
A couple words on what's going to happen in the future.
Exciting, growth, good beer, lots of fun. Was that 3 words? Beer? More beer.
Business of the Year. Inspirational and visionary, this business operates at a level that inspires others and exhibits vision that goes beyond business as usual. The Business of the Year demonstrates success and exceptional performance in business practices, customer service, and community involvement. Fox Charlevoix and Fox Ford Charlevoix.
First of all, it's an honor. It's a big deal. And Charlevoix is a small town, but there's a lot of businesses. There's a lot of things going on in this town. There's a lot of great businesses. So the fact that we were considered for this it's a big deal. Our staff is amazing. I've worked at a few dealerships in my time over the years. I've been in the business this February 30 years. And so I've been here about 5 years now in Charlevoix. This is by far the best team that I've ever worked with. These folks come to work, and we're all about providing remarkable experiences. Each and every one of them, and whether it's myself, our manager team, our sales professionals, product specialists, even our porters, our detailers, everybody is a real important part of this business, and they all come to work, and the goal is to provide remarkable experiences. First for our clients, and secondly for each other. Employee of the Month, so we nominate each other. Sometimes our clients will nominate an employee. We'll get some feedback from a customer about a particular example. One great one I saw recently was for Joey, one of our service advisors over at our Ford store. And this customer indicated that she felt like she was the only customer he had that day. And that's a big deal. That's the idea. If you can do that, and as busy as we are, to be able to get that across, which is really the goal, everyone has to be treated as individuals in a very special situation. Think about a single mom, for example, that has her car in for service for the day. And maybe she's just got one vehicle, and she's got to get kids to school, she's got to get to work, she's got things she's got to do in places her life is totally interrupted. It's a big deal. We can never lose sight of that. So we're constantly talking about that, reminding ourselves of what it takes to stay in communication with these folks, doing a good job, getting them back in their vehicle as quickly as possible and as inexpensively as possible. Yeah, the music video was a challenge from our home office in Grand Rapids. We have over 25 locations now and about 40 or 50 franchises, and so something like 1,200 employees. So our home office, they put out a challenge, and they started by doing it themselves. They did their video, put out a challenge to all the dealerships. Not all of them participated, we chose to. And we talked about it and we said, hey, if we're going to do this, we're going to do it to win. We had a lot of fun doing it. I think you can see that in the video. And we won.
Put some of that party in my cup.
One thing that we really like to do at the dealership level is we have Blue Jeans Friday. So every Friday you can wear blue jeans, should be nicer blue jeans, and then you donate some money. You know, it's at least a couple bucks, and sometimes I've seen people put in $100 out of their pockets. And that money goes to a particular cause that we choose as a group each month. Our most recent one was for one of our very own who had some emergency surgery. He was laid up and didn't have insurance. His co-workers raised $1,000, which we handed to him at our Christmas party, and man, what a humbling moment. And then there's things like the Brian Roloff Memorial was something new that we got involved in this year. Brian Roloff's mom, Shirley, you know, she takes these funds and puts them to really good causes, people that are in need. We tried to find, we had a little girl named Kinsley that's in need of a kidney transplant. Little Mason had cancer. Mason's a grandson of one of our employees that used to work here full-time. Now he works seasonally up at our Bay Harbor operation. And little Mason had leukemia. And it's a 3-year deal where his folks have to take him down to Grand Rapids for treatments. And so 3 years of that, well, it's very expensive and it's time consuming. You got your gas and your hotels and everything goes along with that. We look for causes like that in particular that we can be involved in addition to the big ones, you know, breast cancer. We get involved in the breast cancer walk in the spring here in Charlevoix, and there's many, too many to mention, but it's a lot, and we love it. You know, the business is important, but when it comes down to it, what's really important is taking care of each other, supporting our community, supporting the people in it. How cool it is when you have a community that supports you and raises you up. You know, it's truly an honor to be a part of this organization. You know, Mr. DeVos, he's a good guy, and I've had a chance to get to know him over the last few years, and the fact that he provides this opportunity for us here in Charlevoix. We have 64 employees. You know, it's a pretty good size employment operation. We're always working on improvement. How can we get better? How can we create a different experience than the typical car buying experience or service experience?
The Fox experience.
The Fox experience, yeah.
Outstanding Citizen Award, dedicated and giving. This individual, over a number of years, has given freely of time, talents, and resources to make the Charlevoix area a better place to live. Craig Boss, MD.
To be recognized this way is incredible, and quite frankly, I think it's one of the greatest honors I've ever received. But also humbled and honored, honestly, because of, quite frankly, all the people in our community who are so wonderful at what they do. I love what I do in recruiting, and I really love talking about Charlevoix. But what's interesting, when you look at the physicians who come here, who are interested in working here, and we're looking for a wide variety of different specialties right now, oftentimes they're self-selected. They come to us, which is a beautiful thing. And so already these folks have a sense of they want to be in a small town, and so they have a sense of what a small town is, and they may have been to Charlevoix before, but they haven't really gotten to know Charlevoix. And so when I meet them at the front door, what I see are these eyes that are big as $50, and they're saying, I didn't know your hospital was on a lake. And I just kind of smile and say, just strap in, I'm going to show you a whole lot more.
He's what we call our corporate cheerleader. He's out there every day, really talking up the hospital, meeting with young residents right out of school, as well as physicians who have been practicing, to sell the community of Charlevoix and to certainly sell this hospital as a place to practice.
When you come here, you're joining a family. And that sounds cliche, doesn't it? You're joining a family. It's true. The doctors seem that way, the nurses seem that way, the administrators seem that way, all of our staff, because everybody's important. There's nobody who's higher than another person, and that's key. And that, quite frankly, that's been developed over time with Lynn Jenks, our CEO, who we're so thankful to have here. That family atmosphere, that culture is developed and talked about. But then the big thing too is that they realize that the family is outside of these doors too. So our community is a family too. I enjoy doing things in education. As our kids have grown, we've been involved in youth groups, other education. Also been really blessed, if you will, to be part of leadership within the church, involved with some coaching with Pop Warner. And then as the kids have moved up into the high school, I like to contribute however I can there. A lot of the things that we do are circled right here in the hospital. This is where I do a lot of my service, and I don't know if it's job or service, it's really blended to me. Through the years, I've been chief of staff and medical executive committee on a variety of committees to help really formulate a vision for the hospital, because that's key. Because as our vision becomes stronger at the hospital, so does the community. Most recently, over my tenure as being the medical director of the hospital, I've been involved with the board. That's been really exciting, because now as part of Munson Healthcare, it's just, the vision is incredible what we have going forward.
He treats people how he wants to be treated, and that's with respect and dignity, and he follows through with that in his everyday relations with people, patients, and outside of the hospital. He has a great sense of humor. He's a very, very smart man. We all know that, and boy, I hate that he's going to hear this from me.
Any fun little anecdotes you want to share?
Oh, that I call him Dr. Talk a Lot.
Dr. Talk a Lot?
Dr. Talk a Lot, but with that, he's also Dr. Listen a Lot. So he listens, he talks. Yeah, he's one of the rare doctors that take extraordinary amount of time with his patients. He is such a big-hearted man.
Catherine Boss, she worked here for just under 100 years. She went to nursing school, came back home, originally from Central Lake. My dad's here from Charlevoix, country boy out south. We live actually on the old farmhouse homestead. So she started out in OB and then rose to the ranks of med-surg. She was really enjoying her job in the administrative side of the house too, but she always focuses on the fact that she was a nurse first. Eric's my wife of now almost 30 years, which is awesome. I'm so thankful for her. We have 4 kids, Rachel, John, Caroline, and Ben. We've just always enjoyed being here, and that's something, you know, reflecting back to recruiting. When I was born and raised here, I had a gun in one hand and a fishing pole in another. As I grew up, I think I realized, and I think a lot of us realized, what we had growing up that we didn't necessarily appreciate until I was gone for a long time when I was in the Army.
He's the classic story of a local boy doing well. His mom was our director of nursing for many years here at the hospital. He went away to the armed services, went away to medical school, came back, and that's a rare story, that we can have a young person who is born and raised here, gets their education, and then wants to come back here. After family practice, he got his sleep medicine fellowship. He raised 4 children here, his beautiful wife Erica. So they are part of the fabric of this community and this hospital, part of the family.
Super honored. Like I said, you're kidding me, but I appreciate it.
He is a definite glass is always half full kind of guy.